Every single year, from October to December, this massive weather event unfolds over southern India. It brings life-giving water for sure, but it also brings a huge threat. So today, we're going to dive into the northeast monsoon and try to figure out, is it really a blessing or is it a burden?
You know, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? For so many people, the arrival of rain isn't just about the weather changing, it's a signal. It's about hope and relief and the promise that things are going to be okay.
So what exactly is the northeast monsoon? Well, people often call it the retreating monsoon. That's because it happens when the big summer monsoon winds literally turn around and head back. This is the main event for rainfall in southern states like Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. And this year, it showed up on October 16th, a little early, which everyone sees as a really good sign.
Okay, so let's look at the first side of this coin, the incredible relief and, honestly, joy that this monsoon brings to farmers. For them, this isn't just rain. It's everything. It's their lifeline.
And when I say lifeline, I am not kidding. Just look at these numbers for a state like Tamil Nadu. This one season, just 3 months, provides almost half of its entire year's worth of rain, 48%. That one number tells you everything you need to know about how critical this is. And all that water, it translates directly into prosperity. It means farmers can finally plant their big winter crops, like paddy and pulses. It soaks deep into the ground, refilling wells and groundwater that have been running low. And maybe most importantly, it fills up the huge reservoirs that supply water for drinking and irrigation for the entire next year. The whole rural economy gets a boost.
But, and this is a huge but, for every farmer looking up at the sky with hope, there's someone in a city looking up with a bit of anxiety. Because this is the other side of the coin, where that same blessing can turn into a serious hazard, fast.
And this right here, this lays out the two completely different realities we're talking about. For the farmer, it's all about relief, hope, and a good harvest. But for someone in a city, especially a low-lying one like Chennai, those same clouds can mean risk, floods, and real danger. Same rain, two totally different worlds.
And let's be clear, this threat isn't just a possibility, it is a statistical certainty. On average, this is how many cyclonic storms pop up in the Bay of Bengal during every single monsoon season. 3.
That's right, an average of 3 major storm systems. So it's never a question of if, it's always a question of when. And then you have this incredible force of nature smashing into a bunch of human-made problems. You get these intense downpours that just overwhelm the drainage systems. You have decades of construction on top of natural floodplains, and you have garbage clogging up the drains that are left. It's a recipe for disaster.
So you see, the monsoon is this huge, powerful force, but what it actually does, whether it ends up bringing prosperity or peril, that really comes down to us. It depends completely on the human response.
And the good news is, people are taking action. Take Chennai, a city that's seen some truly devastating floods. They're putting in a new real-time flood forecasting system. Basically, they monitor the rainfall, they analyze how the water is moving, and then they can send out specific alerts to people. It's a really smart way to get ahead of the problem and give people time to prepare.
Okay, so that's a great step for the city, but it raises a really important question. While the city is getting ready for floods, what's happening back on the farms? For those farmers who are so happy to see the rain, a whole different kind of problem is popping up.
And here's the catch. Rain is just one part of the puzzle. To get a good harvest, farmers absolutely need fertilizer, especially something called urea. But right now, the supply chain is a mess, and there's a major shortage. All that hope that the rain brought, it could all go to waste if they can't get the fertilizer they need. And that brings us right back to where we started. So, what's it going to be this season? Prosperity or peril? The rain is here, that part's done. But the final story, well, that's still being written. This quote just says it all, you know? The rain itself is neutral. It's how we manage it, how we deal with too much of it in the cities, and how we make the most of it on the farms. That's what decides if it's a blessing or a burden. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that the monsoon always has two faces. But the one thing that decides which face we see is human planning. It all comes down to building smart systems like flood forecasting, making sure vital supply chains for things like fertilizer actually work, and, just getting everyone to cooperate.
At the end of the day, it's this simple. The monsoon brings the water, humans bring the plan, and the big question, for this season and everyone after it, is which one of those is going to have the final say.